my stock report, and a casserole. Those guys are always hungry, aren't they? Yeah. I found a really hot number at Woodlawn Cemetery not long ago. He was 90 years old and still standing. Let's hear it for him. He was still standing. Yeah. 90 years old. He drove over to my house in a 1933 Ford. Anything that old, it's going to have something broken, something missing, and something leaking, right? And the car was a mess, too. So I Googled my high school boyfriend, and I found him, and we made a date for 7:30 for dinner, and I decided this time I'd wear clothes. Yeah, well, he knew me when I was watertight and didn't need ironing. He came over at 7:30 in the morning, and I said, no, we had a date for dinner. He said, I know, but I can't see to drive at night. So welcome to the senior condition. So there we were at Subway, because he had a coupon. He was whispering sweet nothings in my good ear, that's this one, and we were having a spirited discussion about glucosamine when he said, whoops, there goes my hearing aid. You'll have to sign. And I said, listen, Buster, if this is on me, you're not. You have to stick to your standards, ladies, no matter how long you've known them. But I have a new boyfriend now. Let's hear it from me and the new boyfriend. Thank you very much. He's French and Russian, but I'm faster. And he sends me beautiful emails. Do you send her nice emails? Do you send her nice emails? He doesn't bother. No. You text? No. You just come home, it's a surprise. Well, anyway, this guy sends me, surprise, I'm here. This guy sends me beautiful emails, really beautiful emails. He said, you are so sweet, you are so lovely, beautiful, and kind, Lynn Ruth. You remind me of Mother Teresa. Does Mother Teresa swallow? Not anymore. I love that. That's the punchline. Not anymore. So I decided, well, all right. Maybe what I should do is try internet dating. Has anyone here done internet dating? Which one did you do?
Elite.
Pardon?
Elite.
AIDS?
Elite.
Elite? Oh, that's classy. That's like in America, eHarmony. You found someone. Yeah, right. Well, I looked around. I was thinking maybe Tinder, but I didn't know what body part to put up there. So then I looked around. When you're 82, it's really hard to find the proper dating site. For example, if I would do Match.com, the oldest guy on Match.com is 60. I can't go out with someone who's 60. I'll be arrested for pedophilia. So I found the perfect website, gdate.com, geriatricdate.com. But you know, for a website like that, I don't think they should have headshots. Do you? No. They should have body scans. You want to know? Yes, you want to know. Is the hip his? Do the teeth come out at night? It's a whole different blowjob if the teeth come out at night. My gay friend said to me, you know he loves you if he takes out his teeth. I said, no, I wouldn't know. But anyhow, but you know, and I didn't know what picture to put up there because everyone lies. So I put the picture of my mother changing my nappy. Of course, I changed my own now, but I thought that was more realistic. And I got a hit from this guy, and he said, I would like to take you to Starbucks. Now, when you're 82 years old, Starbucks is a hot date. You get caffeine. So I said, yeah, I would love that. He said, okay, I'll pick you up at 7:30. How many steps to your front porch? Did anyone get that? Yeah, I did not. I did not know what he was talking about. So I said, why do you want to know? He said, well, just tell me, how many steps? So I said, there are 2 steps to my front porch. He said, well, then I'll pull up to the curb at 7:30 and honk, and you come out. Well, I don't know whether he got there at 7:30 or not, because at 7:30, I was still looking for my hearing aid, and I never did find it till I had to go upstairs to get my contact lenses. But by that time, the batteries were soaked. Now, is there anyone here that wears a hearing aid? All right, eventually, you will. And you will understand that joke. But To explain it now, to explain that joke, I'm going to give you another joke. A man was walking down the street with a suppository in his ear. And someone said, "Sir, you have a suppository in your ear." And he said, "Oh, now I know where I put my hearing aid." So now you know where I put my hearing aid, which is in the glass. I finally did go out with this guy. He was the shortest man I've ever seen, and he walked like this. Now, why you men, when you get to be a certain age, walk like that is something I will never understand. It's as if you're trying to protect something doesn't need protecting anymore. And we were at Starbucks, and this man was on crutches, and he was moving. He looked like he was a gorilla on a mission. And he gave me 20 pounds. He said, "Get whatever you want." So I got a cab and went home. Then I decided, I'm through with old men. But they're not through with me. They keep groping me, especially the ones that can't afford guide dogs. Now, I really love that joke, so especially when you think that this guy probably thought I was a German shepherd, and you know what the Germans did to the Jews. But anyway, I'm going to tell that joke again because I want you to really roar. I love that joke. I'm through with old men, but they're not through with me. They keep groping me. Are you ready for this? Especially the ones that can't afford guide dogs. Thank you very much. Yes. So I decided, well, I live in Brighton. Maybe I should try women. But I can't get keys and locks. I could never do tampons. You know that funny little angle I could never do that. I can't get things in slots. Do I have to do the punchline for this? I'd make a lousy lesbian. So I thought, well, maybe I'm a cougar. Maybe I should try being a cougar. But the cutoff age for cougars is 70, and I'm 82. So I thought, well, maybe I'm more a saber-toothed tiger. Or maybe a gilf. You have to Google that one. Okay. So I thought, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to date anymore. I'm going to stay home and knit. And then my friend from the hospice called me and said she had a really hot number for me. And except for that guy from Starbucks and the guy at the cemetery, I hadn't gone out in 30 years. So I thought, why not? We made a date for 7:30 for dinner, and I went to my closet, and I looked, and I said, okay, I'm going to go the whole 9 yards. I'm going to look as beautiful as an 82-year-old woman can look. And I did. I got my nails done. I had my hair done. I had a massage, picked my most beautiful dress, and I was ready at 7:30. I should have known there was going to be a problem when the caregiver called me up and said the dialysis was running late. But just the same, I was ready on time. And I stood at the door and waited for him, and waited, and I waited, and I waited. And then at 8:30, an ambulance pulled up in front of and they put this guy on a gurney, and they brought him up to my front door. And he rang the bell, and I opened the door, and I looked down at him, and he looked up at me, and he said, "Are you Lynn, Ruth?" He said, "I'm Ted." And I looked at him, and I looked at my watch, and I said, "Do you realize you're an hour late? You have to set limits, ladies, or they walk all over you." Of course, this one wouldn't have walked, but just the same. And I have to admit, I enjoyed the dinner at the infirmary, but I couldn't get over how fast Ted scarfed that mince down his feeding tube. But I have to say, when I was feeding him the champagne with the turkey baster, I started to get feelings for Ted. I don't know whether it was his beautiful blue eyes or the way his cute little goatee, or the way his oxygen mask went in and out. Whatever it was, I invited him back to the house for an antacid. And I want to tell you something. For a man with a bad ticker, 1 kidney, and no gallbladder, he was hot. If I hadn't gotten my foot caught in his respirator, Ted would be with us today. Now, all I have left is my memory, which is shot to hell, and his hospital bracelet, and the telephone number of that cute ambulance driver that picked him up. Hope springs eternal. I want you to go back with me 4 years. I was 78. It was the middle of July, and I was getting ready to come to the Edinburgh Festival. I had my ticket. I was ready to go, and I had a gig in San Francisco because I lived right outside of San Francisco. And just as I was getting in the car, I looked, and I thought, oh, there's an apple on my tree. I'll pick it, and then maybe when I come home at night, I can have the apple. I was really excited. So I got a ladder, and I climbed up on the ladder, and I was picking the apple when I looked at my watch, and I realized, you're going to be late. And I was so flustered, I forgot that I was standing on a ladder. And instead of stepping down, I stepped back. And I landed on my heel and bounced forward. That, by the way, is called a Romeo fracture. Anyway, I couldn't move. So I crawled into the house, and to me, this is so indicative of my character. I managed to reach the telephone. I was on the floor, but I managed to reach the telephone, and I called the only phone number I could remember at age 80, the only phone number that I could remember, 78, only one, the dog sitter. That was it. And he was home, and he came and got me, and he took me to the San Mateo emergency room. And they took an x-ray, and I said to the doctor, well, you're going to have to do something in a hurry because I'm going to Edinburgh in 2 weeks. And he said nothing. If a doctor ever says nothing, you're in trouble. So then he said, and we have a room for you for tonight. And I said, well, I can't stay here. I have 2 dogs at home. He said, lady, you can't stand up. And I couldn't. So they put me in this room, and at 6 o'clock the next morning, this jolly man came in. Now, I don't know about the rest of you. My kind of person is not awake at 6 o'clock in the morning. And this guy was definitely not my kind of person. He came in, and he had my chart, and he woke me up, and he said, oh, my God. He said, a woman your age, 78 years old,